Very good morning, students. Regarding human reproduction, the previous session we discussed fertilization. Fertilization, it is one of the important event in sexual reproduction of human being. So what is fertilization? Fusion of haploid sperm and haploid ovum results in the formation of diploid zygote is called fertilization. The next event after fertilization is cleavage. What is cleavage? It is the repeated mitotic division of the zygote resulting in an increasing number of cells. The daughter cells generated by these divisions are termed blastomeres. The process begins soon after fertilization and continues as the zygote moves down the uterine tube. Cleavage serves two important functions in early development. The process creates a multicellular embryo. It is also an organizing process. The partitions of the embryo into developmental region. The cytoplasm of the zygote contains many chemicals that regulate gene expression. So these are all the two important functions of cleavage. Fertilization results in the formation of diploid zygote. The first cleavage produces two identical cells called blastomeres. Blastomeres undergo further mitotic divisions to produce 4 cells, then 8 cells, and so on. So see the picture, the type of cleavage is holoblastic because of the microlethal condition of egg and indeterminate. The first division occurs at about 36 hours after fertilization. Blastomeres are equal in size. So blastomeres undergo further mitotic division to produce 4 cells, then 8 cells, and so on. After 72 hours of fertilization, a loose collection of cells forms a berry-shaped cluster of 16 or more cells called the morula. Its name derives from its resemblance to a mulberry. So it's a Latin word, morum. A morula is usually produced in those species the eggs of which contain little yolk and consequently undergo complete cleavage. So morula, when a number of blastomeres is 16 to 32, the solid ball of cells is called morula. It looks like a mulberry. Next, blastocyst. So what is blastocyst? Under the influence of progesterone, smooth muscles of the fallopian tube relax and the division of embryo takes 4 to 5 days to move through the fallopian tube into the uterine cavity and finally gets implanted in the uterine wall. At this point, the embryo consists of a fluid-filled hollow ball of about 100 cells. This is only called blastocyst. Just see the picture. Some fluid is secreted into blastocele. It's nothing but the cavity of embryo. As the quantity of the fluid increases, the embryo acquires the shape of a cyst. So this is only known as blastocyst. The blastocyst is composed of a single layer of large flattened cells called trophoblast and a small cluster of 20 to 30 rounded cells called the inner cell mass. Trophoblast derived from Greek word trophin, which means to feed, and blastos meaning germinator. These are cells that form the outer layer of the blastocyst. They are present 4 days post fertilization in humans. They provide nutrients to the embryo and develop into a large part of placenta. The trophoblast cell will secrete human chorionic gonadotropin as in a normal pregnancy. So what is the difference between blastocyst and trophoblast? The blastocyst possesses an inner cell mass or embryoblast, which subsequently forms the embryo, and an outer layer of cells or trophoblast, which later forms the placenta. The trophoblast surrounds the inner cell mass and a fluid-filled blastocyst cavity known as blastocele or the blastocystic cavity. So these are all the differences between blastocyst and trophoblast. So this is called cleavage, the third event in sexual reproduction of human being. So what is cleavage? Repeated mitotic division of the zygote resulting in an increasing number of cells. This is only called as cleavage. So next, implantation. Followed by cleavage, implantation take place. The inner mass of the blastocyst develops into the embryo and becomes embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This process is called implantation and it results in pregnancy. So what is implantation? It is a process that occurs after an embryo, that is a fertilized egg, travels down the fallopian tube and burrows deep into the lining of the uterus, where it will remain until delivery. So this is only called as implantation. If the fertilized ovum is implanted outside the uterus, it results in ectopic pregnancy. So what is implantation? Fertilized egg travels down the fallopian tube and burrows deep into the lining of the uterus, where it will remain until delivery. This is called as implantation. If a fertilized ovum implanted outside the uterus, it results in ectopic pregnancy. About 95% of ectopic pregnancies occur in the fallopian tube. The growth of the embryo may cause internal bleeding, infection, and in some cases even death due to rupture of the fallopian tube. So this is about implantation, another event in sexual reproduction of human being. So far we discussed cleavage and implantation. That's all about today's class. Thank you.